4,000 years ago, the richest man in the world lived in a city with no gold mines, no forests, and almost no rain. Babylon grew nothing and dug up nothing valuable out of the ground, and it became the wealthiest place on earth, not by luck, by rules. Rules so simple that people still ignore them today. The richest of them all was a man named Arkad. He wasn't born wealthy. He started as a scribe, carving letters into wet clay for a few coppers a day, the same pay as everyone around him. His childhood friends stayed poor their whole lives. Arkad became so rich that the king himself asked him to teach the entire city how he had done it. And when they asked him for the secret, Arkad didn't point to a lucky trade or a buried treasure. He gave them a system, 7 rules. In 1926, an American named George Clason wrote those rules into a small book called The Richest Man in Babylon. 100 years later, it's still a bestseller, because the rules still work. Here's the strange part. These rules are older than banks, older than the stock market, older than paper money itself. And every single one of them still beats what most people do with their paycheck today. Here are all 7. Rule 1. Start thy purse to fattening. In plain words, pay yourself first. Arkad's teacher was a rich moneylender named Algamish, and he gave Arkad one line that changed everything. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. Read that again, because it sounds obvious, and it isn't. Most people believe everything they earn is theirs. Then rent, food, and bills take all of it, and nothing is left. Arkad saw the truth hiding in that sentence. The money that pays your landlord was never really yours. The money that pays your future is. So he made himself a rule. Every time coins came in, he took out 1/10, 10%, before he paid anyone else. And he never touched it. Not for the landlord, not for the merchant, not even for himself. 10% off the top, first, every time. This is where pay yourself first comes from, a phrase written 4,000 years before your bank had an app. And the math is brutal on anyone who skips it. Save 10% of an ordinary income for 30 years, and even at modest returns, you don't end up with a little extra. You end up with hundreds of thousands. The people who stay poor usually aren't the ones who earn too little. They're the ones who keep 0. Rule 2. Control thy expenditures. Here's the trap Arkad noticed in everyone around him. The moment people earned more, they spent more. A bigger income just bought a bigger pile of bills. He watched men earn twice as much and save exactly nothing, because their so-called necessary expenses grew to swallow every raise they ever got. So he drew a hard line between what you truly need and what you merely desire. And he found that most of what we call a necessity is just a desire we got used to. His rule was blunt. Your expenses will always rise to meet your income, unless you decide on purpose that they won't. So budget the 90% that's left after you pay yourself, and guard it almost as carefully as the 10. Live on what remains, not on everything you make. Do that, and a raise finally becomes what it was always supposed to be, money you actually keep instead of a slightly nicer cage. Rule 3. And this is where the poor and the wealthy split apart forever. Make thy gold multiply. Saving is only the beginning. A pile of coins sitting in a drawer does nothing. It just waits there while the years go by. Arkad's insight was that money is supposed to work. Every coin you save is a worker you can send out to earn more coins for you, day and night while you sleep. And the coins those workers bring home go out and earn too. This is compound interest, described on a clay tablet before anyone had a word for it. Arkad put his savings to work. reinvested everything they earned, and let the pile grow on its own momentum. Give it enough time, and your money starts earning more than you do at your job. That is the exact moment you stop trading your hours for coins and start owning a herd that breeds while you rest. Rule 4. Guard thy treasures from loss. And Arkad learned this one the painful way. He handed his very first savings to a brickmaker who promised to sail off and buy him rare jewels. A man who knew absolutely nothing about jewels. He came back with worthless glass. Every coin Arkad had saved, gone. His lesson was simple. The first rule of investing is, don't lose the money. Chase a huge, fast return, and you will almost always find someone happy to take your savings and hand you back nothing. So Arkad's rule was to only invest where his principal was safe, and to only take advice from people who actually knew the field. A small, sure return beats a big imaginary one every single time. Because here's the part people forget. You can't compound money you no longer have. Protecting what you've saved isn't the boring cousin of getting rich. It is the whole game. Rule 5. Make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. In Arkad's Babylon, most families paid rent their entire lives to a landlord who got richer off them every single month. Arkad told them to stop feeding someone else's fortune and to own the roof over their own heads. Think about what a payment actually does. Every payment you make on something you own builds your wealth. Every payment you make on something you rent builds someone else's. The same money, sent in opposite directions. Owning your home also caps your single biggest lifetime expense, and it frees up coins for Rule 3, putting money to work. It turns your largest bill into an asset instead of a leak you can never plug. Rule 6. Ensure a future income. Arkad understood a hard truth that most people spend their lives avoiding. You will get old, and one day you will not be able to work. Every person's earning years have an ending, so he set money aside on purpose for the day the coins stopped coming in, for his own old age, and to protect his family if something ever happened to him. This is retirement saving and insurance, 4,000 years early. The version of you 30 years from now is a real person, and today is the only chance you'll ever get to take care of them. Prepare for that day now while you still can. And future you inherits a fortune instead of a problem someone has to solve in a panic. Rule 7, and it's the engine behind all the others. Increase thy ability to earn. Arkad started out as a low-paid scribe. He did not stay one. He got faster, sharper, more skilled, and as his skill grew, so did his income, and so did the 10% he skimmed off the top of it. His rule was that the more you learn, the more you earn. Your desires grow all by themselves. Your ability to fulfill them only grows if you make it. So sharpen your craft, make yourself worth more, and the whole machine speeds up. A bigger income feeds bigger savings, and bigger savings send more coins out to work. A person who perfects their craft gets paid for it. The most valuable investment you will ever make isn't gold, it's you. 7 rules. Pay yourself first. Control your spending. Put your money to work. Guard it from loss. Own your home. Prepare for the future. And grow your ability to earn. None of these are clever. There's no secret, no trick, no perfect moment to time the market. And that is exactly why they've survived 4,000 years, while 1,000 get-rich-quick schemes came and went. Babylon had no gold in the ground, and still became the richest city on earth, because its people followed rules that ordinary humans could actually keep. Arkad's real secret was never the coins. It was that he decided to start, and then He simply didn't stop. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. Keep it, put it to work, and give it enough time, and the same math that turned a poor scribe into the richest man in Babylon will do the exact same thing for you. The one thing Babylon could never teach is the hardest part of all: why we blow it anyway, even when we know the rules by heart. That's the psychology of money, and there are more chapters coming. If this helped, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.